I want to give just another extra minute or so for people to come on by. And also, it'll take me just a minute here to find the theme song, because wouldn't it be cool to have the theme song? Okay, well, what do you say? What do you say we get rolling with this?
You need a friend, somebody that you can lean on.
Welcome to the Starry-Eyed Podcast. My name is Brendan.
And I'm Jen. On this show, we chat about all things Williams syndrome.
The ups and downs and what it's like living with
And being a parent to someone with
Williams syndrome.
We're excited to share our community with you. Thanks for being here.
How's everyone doing? How's everyone's convention going so far? Yeah, we're going to have to just...
Blocked by the podium.
Yeah.
Okay.
I know that you would like it that way. You don't want to be seen.
Oh, Jen.
Get on up here.
Oh, no.
Maybe I can be
Okay,
down
well.
here. Would that be better?
If you want, we could... But I also want everyone to be able to see.
But then if I'm on the edge, then I might fall. Okay.
That's okay. You'll be...
Whoever said that, thank you for that vote of confidence.
We believe in you.
good to
I think
be
it was.
seen
I
with
think it
you.
was your daughter.
Oh, it was? Okay,
Likewise.
well, she
Yeah.
should know that I would fall then.
And
Welcome, everybody. Welcome to the Starry-Eyed Podcast Live.
yeah!
My name is Joel Listman. I am the producer of the show, and I also work for the Williams Syndrome Association. If you haven't crossed my path yet this week, I'm sure at some point I will bump into you as I'm running around. But I want to introduce our spectacular host for the Starry-Eyed Podcast, Miss Jennifer Keaton.
What's up, Jen?
What's up, Brendan? I feel sweaty, you guys. All these eyes looking at me, I feel real sweaty right now.
Yep.
And Brendan Lemieux.
Brendan Lemieux!
Hi, guys.
All right. We're going to get to our guests here in just a moment, but just to give you a little idea of how this is going to go, in a moment we're going to talk to our first amazing guests, and then hopefully we will be joined by another wonderful guest from the Williams syndrome community. And then we're going to be able to open it up, and I will come around. And if you have questions, or if you have stories that you want to tell, or whatever, and we can just kind of chat, we'll just make this sort of an open forum podcast, because we're just so happy that we're not in little boxes.
No.
Talking to everybody.
Yeah, it's amazing to be
You guys
here
get
in
to
person.
You get to see how the wheels are not on this bus here. It's amazing how it comes together when everything's all said and done, right, Joel? Thanks to Joel's amazing editing.
Oh, thank you. Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess a little bit of history for people who don't know. When
That'd
I
be great.
joined, I'm proud to say, in all my nerdiness, I was an early podcast adopter. I know, hold your applause. But I love the podcast medium, and I always thought that it would be a great way to share the stories and share the Williams syndrome experience, and especially to our adult community, for them to be able to share their stories in their own words and to show the whole spectrum of what Williams syndrome can be. And so when I thought about it, there was only one person I really wanted to do the show with, and that was Jennifer Keaton, who I met thanks to conventions. And actually, we started it with another co-host, Stephanie Karen, and then Stephanie had some medical issues and asked if she could step away and step down. But our first guest that we had on the very first show was Brendan Lemieux, and he was who I was thinking of. And then when I called Jen and said, Stephanie has asked to step away, doesn't really feel like she can do it anymore, she goes, oh, we should get Brendan. And I'm like, that's why I was calling to see how you would feel about Brendan. So it's been really wonderful. So yeah, so that's kind of how today's going to go. So how are you guys? Let me do this. How are you guys doing?
We're
You guys
good.
look really good up there.
Yeah,
Do we look really good?
I'm
Yeah,
hanging.
you look like a whole show.
Oh, we look fancy. That's
So
exciting.
yeah, so maybe we should get started here.
Yeah,
Okay,
let's
yes,
do it.
we can do it. Okay, well, so like I said, our podcasts are actually pretty organic in nature. We usually have somebody that we're going to interview, and we have an idea of what we're going to talk about. But really, we just like let the conversation happen, and wherever it goes, it goes. And then, like I said, Joel creatively edits around that to make us all sound super put together. But there is one thing that we usually do that's pretty consistent, which is that Brendan starts our show.
All right, so let's go. Hi, Chris. Hi, Emmy. How are you guys?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing well. Oh,
Hi, everybody.
all right. So for those who don't know who you two are, why don't you guys introduce yourself and tell everyone a little bit about yourselves?
Sure. You want to go first?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm Emmy Coggshall, and I am playing the role of Taylor, the main character.
I guess we should back up and say, yeah, so there's a new movie that you're producing, right, Chris?
Yes.
This is Chris.
So
this
my
is
name
Emily.
is Chris. I'm a writer-director. I also have a brother who's 33 who has Williams syndrome. And we're making a movie about a girl who wants to be a basketball superstar, but nobody really gives her the opportunity till she meets this young woman who's a former basketball star who's fallen on tough times. And the main character convinces this woman to coach her in basketball and teach her everything she knows. And it's a story about friendship and second chances and going after your dreams. And Emmy is our star actor in the movie.
Way to go, Emmy.
Yeah, way to
Thank
go,
you.
Emmy. So why don't you tell everybody where you're from?
I'm from New Jersey. I live in Rumson.
Okay, that's exciting. And is this your first convention?
This is my fourth convention.
Fourth convention.
Fourth convention. Wow, that's
Okay.
awesome.
That's exciting. So, Chris, this is technically
Yes.
your first convention,
This
right?
is my first convention, yeah.
Okay. How is it going so far?
Great. Exhausting.
Yes.
As you said, also very sweaty.
Yeah. Oh, you're sweaty. Okay.
Oh,
me
yeah.
too.
Yeah. But awesome. It's been a lot of fun, for
Good.
sure.
Yeah. So you said you have a brother with Williams syndrome, Taylor.
Mm-hmm.
And so tell us about Taylor so we can hear how this comes full circle.
Yeah, so Taylor's 33. He is at camp this week. He lives in New Hampshire. Yeah, he's quite an interesting guy. He loves Christmas and vampires.
Me
And-
too. I love Halloween.
Oh,
and
Halloween?
Christmas.
Ooh.
Yeah, what's your go-to Halloween costume?
I usually like to scare people by being a scary zombie.
Okay.
Scary zombie. Okay, that's a good
Nice.
choice. Good choice.
Yeah, my brother's been a vampire for maybe 14 years in a row. So,
A Santa vampire? Can you like pull those two together? Maybe?
he
A vamp
sometimes, yeah.
Okay. We
Depends
should
what kind of
suggest
mood
it.
he's in.
Right,
Yeah.
We'll suggest it for him. Okay. So it does. It does. So how old was he when he was diagnosed?
He was young, so we're from an hour north of Boston originally. So they have really good medical care up there for Williams syndrome. So
They sure do.
he was really young, and I think one of the doctors, I mean, don't quote me on this, but one of the doctors who created the fish test was from that area. So somebody caught it really, really early. So we're lucky, but he was pretty young.
So he was pretty young. Are you the younger brother?
No, he's 2.5 years younger.
Younger than you.
Yeah.
Okay. So this has been a full circle experience for you.
Yeah.
So exhausting at convention in what way?
What way? Well, I think when you have a sibling with Williams syndrome, or a son or a daughter, it's very unique, but it feels very true to you. You know, it feels weird if that person wasn't around. You know, you're used to when you go out to eat. You're used to grabbing 300 extra napkins and the person you're eating with not eating with you and walking around and talking to everybody
Saying hello
else.
to everybody, yes.
Yeah.
Hello.
Sounds like me almost.
But yeah, you're used to just kind of that one person being there. And when you walk in a room and there's 300 people just like that, it's like, whoa, there's a lot of love in this room right now.
Yep.
Have you gotten a lot of hugs here?
Yeah.
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 I would
a lot
suspect
of fist pounds too. A lot of fist bumps.
Good. We're growing
Yeah.
as a community. We don't
Yeah.
always hug. We fist bump too. That's
Yeah.
good.
Hugging, it's a Williams thing.
It is. Are you
Yeah.
a hugger or do you like to fist bump?
I'm either or.
Okay.
I'm more of a.
I'm usually a hugger.
Yeah. You've given me so many fist bumps. I think you're a fist bump guy now.
Might be.
Yeah.
And when I did meet Emmy, she did say, like, can I come in and give you a hug? And I was like, yes, I am here for it, right?
Yeah.
Bring on the love, people. Bring on the love.
Bring on the love. So tell us about how this movie took shape in your mind. So growing up, you had a sibling with Williams syndrome, and then have you always been in the disability community? I know you do some movie stuff.
Yeah.
That's your background, but
Yeah, so I graduated film school in 2015, and I went right up to LA after film school from San Diego. And it's really, really tough to break into the film industry. And I finally started getting some writing gigs. I was getting paid to do, jobs on set. Not a lot, but enough. It was really cool. But a lot of the work I was getting, I just didn't love. I wasn't really connecting with it. It was, about things that didn't really matter to me. There was a lot of zombie movies. Yeah,
that's cool.
Yeah.
Ooh, creepy.
So I kind of just said, you know what? I just want to write the movie that I want to watch. And so I love playing basketball. So it definitely had to be a basketball movie. And then you kind of write what you know. So just naturally, a character with Williams syndrome kind of came out. And yeah, I think it's important because there's not a lot of representation in Hollywood for people with ID, especially with Williams syndrome. So yeah, it kind of came from a very selfish place of, this is just the movie I want to see, so why don't I just go write it and make it?
I love that. I love that. Well, and sometimes that's how the best ideas, I think, take shape. Like, just go for it, right? And you'll see what happens. And a lot of times it's, I think, what the world needs. So, Emmy, were you an actress before this? Tell us how you got into the picture.
Well, I started off being an actor in Camp Basie. It's like this acting center where we get to do plays and stuff. And I was the main character once, I think. And one day my mom told me, okay, I have some really great news. So this producer wanted to do a movie. And I was like, okay. And Mom was like, so I signed you up. And I'm like, what? Why didn't you tell me that this morning? I was very excited, and I found out I got the part in Vacation, the best vacation ever. I started happy crying, and I'm like, I'm going to tell everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys can applaud.
Come on.
That's exciting.
Applaud, clap.
Emmy, did you have to try out for this role? How did that go? I don't know a lot about acting, but I know you usually have to come in and do a, what do they call it?
Audition?
Audition,
Yeah.
read through.
Yeah.
So he had me do different emotions, and he made me come up with my own words and stuff to do it, and I was just very confident because I done plays before, so I knew I would get the part.
Of course.
Did you have to be a zombie Santa?
Maybe.
Okay, let's see your best zombie Santa impression. I'm ready.
I'm Santa. I'm gonna give you brains for Christmas.
That's amazing. That's so awesome.
Yeah, we might have to rewrite the movie now.
I think so.
Maybe.
So do you play basketball?
Yeah. Also, I'm very hilarious.
You're very hilarious.
Yes.
You are very hilarious. So you play basketball, and so that concept of sports was not foreign to you.
Yeah. But I knew how to play basketball, so I was like, okay, I'm going to do this and then do that. So I give it my all to get into the movie. And I just like started practicing basketball and I got very good at it.
Yeah, that's amazing. Good for you. I think basketball is a great sport,
Yeah.
and especially great. How old did you say you were?
I'm 13.
13. Okay. So at school, do you do unified sports yet?
Not really. I try to play basketball once in a while when I have the time
When
to.
you have the time. Okay. My daughter Stella is in the audience, and you can say hi, Stella. Everybody, there she is. She plays
Stella.
unified
Hey,
basketball,
Stella.
and
Hi, Stella.
she is kind of a baller in basketball. But it's a great sport, and I love the idea of this movie featuring you. Where are you guys at in the filming process?
Yeah, so we're planning on filming in the spring or early summer of 2025.
Okay, and I saw I grabbed this postcard today. So tell us a little bit about this and all the information that's on the back.
Sure, so this is our postcard.
Go ahead if you want to look at it.
Yeah, so we have job shadowing positions available on set for people with Williams syndrome or other forms of ID, Down syndrome, autism. As I said earlier, it's really difficult to break into the film industry, and it's almost impossible if you have a disability, especially an intellectual disability. So we have a job shadowing program on set. So if you know somebody that has Williams syndrome or Down syndrome, and they want to be an actor, a producer, a director, a makeup artist, a production designer, really anything in the film industry, they can come shadow our professionals on set. And you can be an extra in the movie if that's more your speed and you like being in front of the camera. I know there's a lot of people here that like being in front of a camera.
Yes,
Especially me.
Yeah.
especially you.
And we're raising money for the film. We're partially funded right now. And we're getting donations. We're nonprofit approved, so everything's tax deductible. We also have private equity investments. And we're partnering with a couple production companies. So the financing is coming from a lot of different areas, which is pretty common in film. So yeah, if you know anybody that wants to job shadow or be in the movie, or if you're interested in investing or donating, you can just grab one of these cards.
And do you have a table here?
Yes, so
Okay.
we are kind of, when you walk out of here, take a right and it's straight ahead.
I don't know if you know this, but Brendan was on MTV.
Were you
And
really?
so I
Yeah.
think
You look like an MTV
he
guy.
does, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah,
You got
it
that
was,
vibe.
It was an interesting experience. It was a show about a group of people with disabilities that traveled the country as a news group in a band.
Oh, how's your news?
Yes.
My buddy Jeremy Vest was on that.
I know. Jeremy and I went to BHMA together.
Nice.
Yeah, I love
I'm hanging
Jeremy.
out with him next week in Vermont.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
That's what's up. Yeah. Yep. We were on the show together, and yeah, it was filmed over 6 months, and then it aired, within that year, and yeah, it was definitely an interesting, eye-opening experience for sure.
Yeah, that was a cool show. I remember watching it back in the day.
Yeah.
I have never seen the show, but one day during the podcast, Brendan just casually drops like, "Oh, when I was on MTV," and I'm from the age group that like MTV was like
Yeah.
cool, right?
TRL.
I never seen that before.
I know you've never seen it because you're too young. So I was like, "What do you mean you were on MTV?" And so then I had to hear the whole story, and you're like, "Oh, it was an interesting experience. Like that was so cool."
No, it was, it was a lot.
Yes.
People only got to see what was happening in front of the camera and not what happened behind the camera.
Yeah.
And to get a 30-minute time slot, we would film 9 to 5 for a full week.
Yeah.
Just to get 30 minutes edited and cut down. And, there are some things that happened that I wasn't a fan of, but, that's the past. you know, I've moved on from it. You know, I'm here. You know, and I'm doing the podcast. So
Doing the podcast, yeah. And you're going to be an extra in this movie because I've just connected you guys, and it sounds like you have a mutual friend.
If you were on MTV, you might be more than an extra.
Oh, yeah.
right, Mom?
Do we think Brendan should have a part in this movie? That's what we're asking.
Right, Mom? Shout out to my parents.
Yes, shout out to the parents. So you guys are going to start filming. Is it East Coast based?
Massachusetts.
Massachusetts.
Yeah.
Okay. So is it a requirement for somebody? Again, I'm asking because I have no idea about acting. Do you have to live in that area to be part of
No,
the
you can
film in
live
some way?
anywhere. As
Okay.
long as you can get to Massachusetts, you're good.
I live in Connecticut, so
Right next door.
yeah.
Makes it real easy. Yeah, I'm so excited for this film. Emmy, can you share with everybody how old you were when you were diagnosed with Williams syndrome?
I was like 5 months old.
5 months old. Okay. Ooh,
5 weeks.
So little bitty itty bitty baby. Do you are you at an age where you can like understand the importance of highlighting Williams syndrome in the film
Yeah.
community? Yeah.
Like, I'm so excited to like support this community and like show all the boys that it's not cool to bully people that have Williams syndrome. Just because they have Williams syndrome, it doesn't mean you have to bully them.
That's right. I like that message.
Facts. Facts.
What grade are you in at school?
What?
What grade are you in at school?
I'm moving into 7th grade.
7th grade.
That's
So middle
awesome.
school?
I'm getting old.
Getting old. Girl, I feel you. I feel you. And how I think middle school is like the worst time. The worst ever.
It is for everybody, isn't it?
Yeah.
And like, it's just spoiler alert, it's not great.
No, it's not the best.
But I do think that your message of bullying is really important during this time because middle school can be a challenging time where people are looking inwards and they're looking at what makes them unique and what makes them different. And sometimes when we feel self-conscious, right, like it's
Yeah.
easy for us to point out differences in others because we feel bad about ourselves.
Shout out to my school, Forestdale.
Oh, okay. Shout out to Forestdale.
Yeah.
So have you experienced some bullying? Is that like where
Yeah.
this deep-rooted, okay. And how has that been for you? How have you worked through that?
It was sad.
Sad, I know. Have
Yeah.
you worked out the situation with your friends?
Yeah, but usually people would always act like my friends and they would leave me, which was very sad.
Which is very sad, yeah. Are you excited to make some new friends on the set? Because you know what's going to
Yeah.
happen, just again, not spoiler alert, but people are going to see you in a movie and then they're going to want to be friends with you. Right?
Yeah.
'Cause then all of a sudden now you're really cool. Brendan probably knows all about that.
Don't I know? Yeah, no. Yeah, it's a cool thing.
It is a cool thing, but you have to be careful, right? Because some of those
Yeah.
people that were bullying you before then might try to be your friend, and you got to sort
Yeah.
through that. So there's a lot for you to learn as you take on this film. Do you
Yeah.
guys have you said there's another actress that's going to be in the movie. Have you decided who that person is? The basketball star that's taking on this new lead?
So we're in the process of casting
Okay, great.
that. So we're out to a couple actors that are pretty well known. So we're just kind of waiting to hear back and talking to a few. So hopefully we'll know soon.
That's great. And what other roles in the film are going to be pivotal? Have you established that yet, or are you still shaping that as you go?
Yeah, so there's 4 main roles. There's Emmy's role. There's the actress who's playing the role of the young woman who's the former basketball star. Then there's the kind of gruff, old school rec center supervisor who's a little rough around the edges.
He's meanie.
Yeah, he's a bit of a meanie.
You need someone mean for that
yeah.
role, okay?
Yeah, he has a heart of gold.
Oh, good, okay.
But he doesn't want anybody to know.
Yes.
He likes to yell in traffic, you know.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
okay.
no.
We need somebody with road rage, okay?
Yeah, and then the character that Emmy is playing, the mom of that character in the movie.
Okay, a mom. Do
Kind of like
you have any ideas who you want to play your mom?
Someone nice, please.
You're supposed to say your mom, right? But
Yeah.
you don't want your mom playing? Is your mom not nice?
No, she's nice, but sometimes she can be strict. A little bit.
A little bit strict. Well, that's good for you. Yeah, so you're looking for somebody who's kind. Okay,
Yes.
okay. Well, tell us what else you're looking forward to in the film.
I'm looking forward to get all the autographs.
You're looking forward to giving autographs.
Yeah.
Are you practicing your signature?
Not really, but I'll try.
You're going to try? Okay, that's good, that's good. Did you give a lot of autographs when you were MTV famous, Brandon?
Yeah, it's funny, you know, we would be filming and, you know, people would come up to our tour bus, like while we were eating in restaurants and things, like out in LA and Venice and that surrounding area. And they would ask for pictures and autographs. And it's funny, like, even after the show was done and it wasn't renewed for, you know, for another season, I would get recognized in my hometown, you know, and recognized here and there. So it was really cool that people were like, "Oh, I remember you. You're Brendan from How's Your News?" Like, yep, you know, that's me. I'm just living my best life now and doing other things, and you know, doing the thing, playing music, and you know. Which is, you know, music is my passion, and
Me too, I love music.
yeah,
Ooh, are
music
we
is
incorporating music into the film? Like,
You
is
might
that-
have to, yeah.
Okay, what's your
Yeah.
instrument
There's
of
a little
choice,
bit of
Emmy?
music, a little bit of singing in
Okay.
the movie. Yeah.
okay.
Did you have to sing as part of your audition?
Yeah.
You did. What did
No,
you sing?
I did not have
No.
to sing.
I was going to say, I must have missed that.
What's your song of choice? Are you karaokeing tonight?
Maybe.
Maybe. Well, you have to decide what your song's going to be. No
Yeah.
pressure.
Do you have a go-to karaoke song?
Well, I don't know if I do. I listen to a lot of hip hop.
Same.
Yeah, so I don't know, maybe like a rap song of some sort. But Stella is really excited for karaoke tonight. Her go-to song is the Star Spangled Banner. So she loves that. She sings that at all different events in our community.
She's really good at it too.
She is very good at it. She's working on her runs right now, her Beyonce runs.
That's
but
my brother's go-to song.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Star Spangled Banner.
Somebody else in the
Beyonce.
community that we interviewed also sings Star
Okay.
Spangled Banner in their community. And he actually like had a job at one point where he would go out to events.
Oh, that's cool.
and I thought it was such a good idea. I was like, I'm stealing that. And that's my goal for Stella is to show up at like weddings
Yeah.
and funerals or wherever and sing
Clayton.
Star Spangled Banner.
Clayton.
Clayton, yes.
Yeah, Clayton.
Clayton.
Yep.
So I'm really excited about it. Well, I think it's time. We're not used to having an audience, so I want to make sure that we let the audience
Yes.
ask you some questions. Would you like that, Emmy?
Yes, I would.
Hi. Wait, my hand is sweaty, so I'm just giving.
It's fine.
Joel.
So rude. Now I'm going to sweat on this one.
Wise guy.
Okay, here, let me practice. For no reason, Chris. Hey, I hope everyone's got questions.
You
But I
better.
really think you're all good people. Just saying. Where do I
Pretty
send my
solid.
resume?
Did you know that he was an actor?
I did.
Okay,
Yeah.
professional.
Yeah, okay, over here.
More in pirate films, but I mean,
Okay.
he could be a zombie Santa.
There we go.
Hi, my name is Ruby, and I was wondering, where did you begin? So you have been in a movie. So I was wondering, do you have any like dance moves or like songs you like to sing, or anything special for you to hear?
I love hip hop.
What,
Ooh.
girl? You didn't tell me that.
I sang I'm a believer in front of my whole school and in front of my crush. It was so nerve-wracking.
That's
Ew.
You know, we have. I would be remiss to say that, you know, we've talked about Brendan being on MTV in this awesome movie project that's been. We shall not forget, and viewers of the show and people who listen to the show know that Jen Keaton is a hip hop superstar.
Yes.
Yes, I'm in a hip hop moms dance group.
Yes.
Anybody over 40 who has no dance skills,
Love it.
you guys, it's really
All right.
amazing.
Here you go.
Girl, I gotta tell you something. First of all, you're beautiful, okay?
Thank you.
Number two, those people who bully a lot of people like us, we're beautiful inside and out. That's how God made us, and you just gotta stick with right people at the right time and the right day. And what I learned so I was bullied in middle school a lot. I was bullied a lot, and I just learned to ignore those haters because haters are gonna hate, but God bless God for making us beautiful and strong. One day when you're gonna be a grow up, you're gonna be beautiful and strong. Your parents are gonna be proud of you of what you do, and when you get all the autographs, you gotta be proud of yourself, girl. That's a lot of encouragement, okay?
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Yes.
That's awesome. I love your energy.
I believe it was the philosopher Tay Swift who
Tay
said,
Swift. Yes. Haters gonna hate.
haters going to hate.
Hate.
But I'm
Shake
just
it
gonna
off.
shake
You
it.
shake
it off.
Emmy's gonna shake it off.
I believe, yes.
And it is, I was actually I was on a call recently where I was talking about disability representation in the media, and it is a movement that's happening right now, like in the olden days of the 1990s and earlier. People with disabilities are often played by regular actors, right? People who don't have disabilities. And so that created a misconception about really what disability is. And
Right.
I obviously, with Williams syndrome, I think there's only one or two examples in media, movies, or mainstream TV, and they were played by just typical actors. And they really didn't do a great job of showcasing all that our beautiful people represent. So I'm excited that you're taking this role on, and that we are really highlighting the beauty of Williams syndrome, because there's a lot that you bring to the table. So thanks to you both for doing that.
You're welcome.
Yeah, and there's just to touch on that a little bit.
Please.
There's a lot of roles in media for people with Williams syndrome or other types of ID that are very much supporting roles. There are roles where the characters are almost story pieces, are plot points for the main character to use for you to build empathy with the main character, but they're not their own people. You know, they don't have that complexity or that agency. And so one of the goals for this movie is to create a character that is nuanced but has that autonomy and that depth to be their own main character.
Yeah, absolutely. And that you deserve your own storyline, right? And you're not just a cliff note in, some bigger picture. You've got hopes, you've got dreams, right? You've got desires, you have dance moves,
Aspirations.
you have voiceovers. Here's another question. Dr. Marty.
So I actually want to make a comment following up on that. I'm remembering the show from the early 90s, Life Goes On, that was about a young man with Down syndrome, and Chris Burke was the name of the actor who played the role. And I had a chance to meet him. He was on a speaking tour in our area, and we went to see him. And when he met my son Josh with Williams syndrome, his immediate reaction was, "Josh, I have a friend who looks just like you." And I talked to Chris's mom, and I gave her my phone number, and I said, "Please find out what the diagnosis is for his friend." And she was telling me that Chris, actually the actor, had a lower IQ than the character that he played in the show, but he was really good at acting. The mom called me a few days later, and she said his friend has something called Williams syndrome. And now when I lecture to medical students and doctors, I make a comment that if a young man with Down syndrome who had an IQ of 60 can recognize Williams syndrome, then a doctor should be able to recognize and diagnose it too.
Very true, Dr. Marty, very true.
Absolutely. All right, let's give it up for Emmy and Chris one more time.
Yeah.
Thank you, Emmy and Chris.
Do you have one more question?
Oh, one more
more
question.
question.
Oh my goodness, Kara, sorry. I'm totally very sorry. Here we go. Yeah, come around back here.
if you actually watch, there was this lady, and yes, she had Williams syndrome, and she was on a court show or murder show, and she went in, and they told her, she went in and they told them what pitch the thing was that happened. Like, she literally named like the scale pitch in this show that they did.
Yeah. Nope.
Oh yeah, the tone, his tone of voice.
If anybody knows the name of that show, we'd love to see that.
Law and Order.
It's a Law and Order episode.
Oh, I think that wasn't a person with Williams syndrome, right? It was not. She was a typical actress.
Yeah, playing someone. Yeah, Law and Order. They had a Law and Order.
Dr. Marty, how are your guinea pigs, Dr. Marty? Stella wants to know. Are they good? That's good. Okay, I'm glad. Oh, look, she's so happy back there, you guys.
All right, well, now I can say one more time. Let's give it up for Chris and Emmy. They will be at Chris's table promoting I Got Next. Thank you guys so much for coming.
Come swing by the table. We'll be out there all day, all night.
Drop off your resume if you have a song you want to sing for an audition. Chris is ready for it.
All right, well, we're gonna switch gears here a little bit. Another chance for people to have some Q&A. I don't know if you need the stairs to get down.
You want me to move? Okay, I'm moving. I'm moving.
I don't want to strand you guys up here on the stage.
You guys, this is a very fancy show. We're gonna move.
Yeah, this is not unlike what we do on computers. Frankly, we just sort of shuffle around. Sometimes I move the boxes on my screen and it becomes chaos.
Oh, see, it's not on. Wheels are not on this bus.
But now, I want to let's welcome Gianna Morello.
Gianna, come to the stage.
Gianna Morello, who is volunteering and has all sorts of other wonderful things going on.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi, Gigi.
Hi. How are you guys?
We're good. How are you?
All right.
Yeah.
Glad to be here.
She's been volunteering all afternoon, and you've been so kind to come on over and hang out with us. I thought it would be really cool if Brendan and is it okay if I call you Gigi?
Yeah, I don't care.
Brendan and Gigi are both members of the Board of Trustees for the Williams Syndrome Association.
Yeah.
It is part of our bylaws that we have to have at least two individuals with Williams syndrome on the Board of Trustees.
We want. Well, I don't work for the WSA, so I shouldn't say we, but we as community want to have people with Williams syndrome on the board, right?
Yeah.
We get to have Williams syndrome people on the board. It's very important.
Yeah, we have a minimum of 2. Currently, there are 3 individuals.
Yep.
I will just say, I believe one of them's term is coming up, I believe, and so there will be an open spot for adults who might be interested in joining the board. But I thought it would be, I would love to hear a little bit, Gigi. First of all, it would be to introduce yourself to everybody, but love to hear, especially from the 2 of you, what it's like being an adult with Williams syndrome in a leadership position.
Sure. You want to start, Gigi?
Yeah, I guess let's start by saying, Gigi. Let me do this. Let me go. So, Gigi.
Yes.
For those who don't know, why don't you introduce yourself?
All right. Hi, I'm Gianna Morello. I am 26 and I'm from Westfield, New Jersey.
New Jersey is represented.
Wait, how did we had 2 New Jerseyans?
Apparently
What do you call
we had to
yourselves?
come to Arizona to represent New Jersey.
Is it New Jerseyans? Is that the technical? Jersey.
Jerseyans, yeah.
Jerseyans. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So 26, and what do you do?
I have 2 jobs right now. I work at the ARC of New Jersey, so I work for people with intellectual developmental differences. I call it differences, I don't call it disabilities, because we are all able to do things in life, and they shouldn't look at us as someone who can't do things in life. So I don't think of it as different. I don't think of it as disability at all. I always think of it as differences, because they could, like, you know, in the world, there's a lot of different jobs, but if you put the right person with the right job, there could be beautiful things that come out of it, you know? And I feel like everyone deserves an opportunity.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So your first hustle is working at the Arc. What's your second job?
I work at an insurance company, and I am an administrative assistant, and so I help with billing and things like that. And the reason why I have that job, well, the reason why I got that job is because my boss's daughter has a daughter with Williams syndrome, and she wanted to see how someone with Williams syndrome could work in an office environment. So I love it, and it's really nice. So
that's fantastic.
It's amazing.
Yeah, it's great.
I am very passionate about individuals with disabilities working and in the employment space in general. How long have you had that job?
A little over, so I've had the ARC job for a little over a year. April 10th was my first year, so last year on April 10th was my first day. And then I've had the other job since around May or June of last year as well.
Okay. Which job do you like better? I think I know what you're going to say.
The ARC in New Jersey.
Yeah.
Because it really, like, I'm the only person with a difference that works at my office. And so it's really interesting and cool to see how people help others with differences and try to make their lives better, because that's our jobs, you know?
You said you're the only person at the ARC that has a difference?
At the ARC in my office.
Wow.
Yeah, so the ARC, I work at the ARC in North Brunswick, New Jersey, if you guys have heard of that. And so, yeah, it's really great. I really feel inspired every day, and I want to keep learning and doing more, so.
And so, aside from your two jobs, you're like, I should be on the board because I have so much free time, right? No? How did that happen?
So, pretty much someone, you know how, like, they vote, I guess, on who they think should be on the board. So someone voted for me, and so that's kind of how I got on the board, and it's been wonderful. I love working with Brendan, and it's been really fun, you know. Me and him are really close, and so it's really great.
Yeah.
Did you know he was on MTV?
I did. He told me.
Yeah. It's really cool. Gianna and I work on the board together, and we also work outside of the board together.
Yes, we do.
For Creative Spirit.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
So that's
And that's how we got connected.
Yeah.
You guys weren't connected before?
No.
Really?
No.
Okay,
no.
yeah. Tell everybody about Creative Spirit.
So Creative Spirit is a nonprofit organization that helps helps people with disabilities find creative jobs in the creative workforce. So Gianna and I, we met, we filmed the commercial, we did a photo shoot, and mind you, the people that filmed the commercial do all the Super Bowl commercials. So we went down to New York. We were on the 30th floor of a building, and we did the photo shoot and the commercials, and then that came out.
So I guess what we're saying is you have experience on chaotic sets where a lot of things are going on.
I love it.
And you have lots of responsibilities.
He was a model for print media.
Yeah, we worked at Advertising Week in New York City.
Yeah. I have such a good story. Oh my God, can I just say it? I'm sorry.
Yes.
Go
for it. So, we are unstructured here, girl.
It is a podcast that relies on it.
Yeah.
I am a huge lover of rock and roll music. I love rock music.
I remember this.
So I had the opportunity. So my mom came up to me and was like, gee, you know, because they were telling me, like, because, you know, they're like, oh, you're going to speak. I'm like, okay, cool. What day am I speaking? So I was put on a day, and my mom's like, you're actually not going to speak that day. You're going to speak on this day. So I get there the day that my mom told me that I'm not speaking, and I was like, okay, what am I doing here? So she's like, okay, we're going to come tomorrow actually instead. So we went home, and I came the next day. And so what happened was I met Joan Jett, and I got to walk her to her green room. I cried my eyeballs out.
You ugly cried, girl.
I did.
Yes, you did.
And it was one of the best days of my entire life. She talked about me on stage after, and she was saying how this sweet girl met me on, in the green room. She walked into my room because she was talking about how she was rejected from a lot of different people. So now she's Joan Jett in the Blackhearts, and that's where she got her name from. And so it was really inspiring and really cool to meet her and talk to her. And yeah, it was one of the best days of my life. So
Yeah.
I love
awesome.
her.
That is amazing. Well, I know that you do a lot, and you're a great both of you are great representations for the Williams syndrome community. Tell us about the board experience now. Like, what are the things that you two are working on or that you want to see happen for the Williams syndrome community?
Well, the biggest thing this year has been obviously the convention. And
Is it going well for you guys besides being sweaty?
yeah, no,
Okay.
it's been going.
Who's sweaty out there? Anybody sweaty? Okay. Oh, look, I see a hand. Yes, thank you.
Yeah, no, planning the convention. Yeah, and then, the adventure seekers trip is coming up.
The cruise.
The cruise.
Yeah.
Next year, and then the following year will be
Convention again.
the convention again. But this convention is my last convention as an official board member because, yeah, I know. I'm finishing up by the start of 2026. I will have finished my second term, and it will be time for me to spread my wings and do other things. And
Next time,
Like be in a
here,
movie.
Yeah, next time you'll be here just as some podcast host schmo.
Ain't that right? Yep.
Yep.
Ain't that right? So yeah, no, it's bittersweet.
Yeah, you've been doing a lot this week. You've been volunteering wherever they need hands. Has that been your experience as well, Gianna? Have you been?
I work with the Warriors, so I've been doing a lot with that, and I'm on the convention committee. So I've been planning a lot of the convention for everyone and helping with the adult programming and stuff like that. So it's been great.
So are you guys making sure like that the things that you're doing this week, I assume, are like things that you would want to do, and you're like looking at like, if I were doing this is okay, cool. Yeah, that's amazing.
I mean, there's some knowledge aspects. Like there's some speakers that come in and speak and stuff. So it may not always be everything that everyone wants to do, but there are like dance parties. There are breaks in between. So like there are opportunities to have fun, even when we have to be serious and listen and kind of focus on what the people are saying, because people can get hurt if they don't listen. So,
right.
we make sure, me as a person with Williams syndrome and me as a person, as a volunteer, have to make sure that everyone is safe.
Yes.
Oh, good. Safety first. I appreciate that.
Agreed.
Does anyone
Questions?
have any questions for our board members? Oh,
Look at Ruby.
Wow,
She's
Ruby.
just.
Let's go, Ruby.
I like that you're putting your hand up first, girl.
Hi.
Hi, Ruby.
Hi, Ruby.
So, what have you been doing? What have you been doing for the rest of your life?
No pressure, Gianna, but
And
what are you
real
guys doing for the rest of your
Just
life?
real quick.
Well, I've been spending most of my time with my parents. I'm involved in Special Olympics. Go Special Olympics.
Yeah.
You just got a he shed.
I just got a he shed, which will be turned into my new music studio.
Nice.
It's been 3 or 4 years in the making, and we just had it built. It needs some cosmetic stuff done to it, but we just had it built like right before we came to Arizona. So my time now, once I get home, is planning out all the soundproofing and the insulation, and because on the side I am a luthier, I make guitars and I make cutting boards and coolers from scratch, and so we have some planning out to do when we get home.
Jen, did you know that he did that?
Yes.
You did. I didn't. I'm
Yes.
just learning about. I mean, I knew you built guitars, but I didn't know you did all this other like crafting and woodworking.
Yeah, we.
I don't listen to the show, so
You have to listen to show because you have to take out all the ums.
I take out all the. Oh, there's computer programs for that.
So yeah, I had been building it with my friend, but he's been going through some really tough medical cancer-related things, so I haven't really seen him, and so we haven't. That whole thing has been pretty much put on pause until his health gets better. But once it gets better, I'm in the process of building a bass guitar from scratch. So once he gets better and we're both healthy and ready to do this again and make it playable, and
Brendan's got a lot going on.
Yes, I do. I have a lot going on.
Gianna wants to answer this question as well. She's really excited.
So I graduated college like 3 years ago.
Way to go, Gigi.
I went to 2 colleges. I went to Centenary University and I went to Ramapo College of New Jersey and got my bachelor's at Ramapo College of New Jersey and my associate's in Centenary University. And my major was music business and music performance. I'm a drummer, so probably when I get home, I'm probably gonna drum and I really don't know what's to come next, but I have 2 jobs, as I said, and so
3 jobs, 4 jobs. I counted like 4.
I have like a million jobs now.
We just played a gig together.
Yeah, we just played a gig together for Hotel Fiction, which is really cool.
Yeah, at the gala for Creative Spirit, thanks to the New York Stock Exchange.
Yeah, so we got to play at the New York Stock Exchange. It was really cool. So,
It's amazing, you guys.
Yeah, that was really
Joan
cool.
Jett, Stock Exchange.
Yeah.
So yeah, when I get home, that's what I'm going to be doing. Probably just relaxing and getting ready for work.
Yeah.
When I get home.
Is convention overwhelming for either of you? Like just with so much going on, or is it like you're excited, ready to go, or both?
It's hard because I'm a volunteer for people with Williams syndrome. So being a person with Williams syndrome, volunteering for other people with Williams syndrome, it's really eye-opening because you could really see like the different. I guess I don't want to sound rude or anything, but like the spectrums, I guess, of people with Williams syndrome and how they learn and how they, how they like live and stuff like that. So it's really eye-opening and interesting. So I really enjoy it.
It can be tough.
It's very tough.
It can be tough sometimes. It can be overwhelming, being in a, I was part of the gang at the last convention. The WSA gang. And it's overwhelming. It can be very stressful. It can be very tough, but it's also very fun. And it's also really cool to get to see people that you haven't seen in forever. And just creating new memories with people and get to hang out with this one.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
As I'm fond to say, there's no one way to Williams syndrome.
Nope.
So
That's true.
one of the great things that you learn being
Hey,
here.
I did want to mention.
I was
Before we get to that
we
question.
have another question here.
Okay.
Hi, Brendan.
Hi, Liv.
How are you?
Brendan's very popular, you guys.
I've known Liv
lots
for
of
probably
screaming in the
20
hallway.
years.
Yay!
Yeah. I met Liv when she was 12, and
My question to you, Brendan, is since you're into woodworking, and I am too, do you use power tools when you make the guitars and all that kind of stuff?
Yep, we use
Awesome.
power tools, the hand saws, the sanders.
Do you use a router?
Yep.
Right on.
Yes, ma'am.
That was my question.
I love it.
Liv.
That's awesome.
One of the things I wanted to mention for any of you who haven't listened to the podcast is there's usually 2 folks on an episode. Usually we try to highlight somebody with Williams syndrome Up till this point, it's typically been an adult. And our goal really is to highlight all journeys with Williams syndrome, right? Like, so, I mean, these two are like Joan Jett and MTV and Beyonce and I don't know who else. But, you know, there's also several of our folks who, you know, hang out at home all day, or they volunteer at, you know, local, I don't know, shelter, exactly. And so all of those journeys are important, and we want to highlight the vast array of experiences that our community has. And then we also try to highlight somebody in the community who's doing work to improve the lives of those with Williams syndrome. So I did say that it's kind of like a hot mess on how it comes together, but we do have some intentionality around who we pick and who we highlight every couple of weeks, right? Are we doing this bi-monthly? When is that happening again?
We're
show up.
Still every 2 weeks. Yeah,
Okay.
every 2 weeks. I mean, in a perfect world, we would be a weekly cast, but have we mentioned that we only have like 8 people on staff? So I have to spend. I also like to make sure I spend time with my family. Since we've been lucky enough to shout out families, I just want to thank Jennifer,
Joel's
my wife
family.
Jennifer, and my amazing son Bennett for putting up with me and all the long hours and stuff. Yes.
And my mom Ann and my dad Tim.
And of course, yes.
And my parents too.
And everybody's parents were here. All the parents in the
All the
world.
parents.
I was talking to your mom earlier, and she's like, only believe like half the stuff they say about me. And I went, okay, that's
He's
fair.
joking.
Do you guys have questions about the podcast in general? I mean, we can really open it up. Oh, look, you had a hand and then you said no. Come on.
Okay. Well,
Hi.
Hold on, Bennett has
Any
it. Do you have a
question is fine.
Ben?
What are the stuff that you guys talk about? Since I'm not there.
Oh, well.
You're often in the background.
You're there.
Yeah, I mean,
We always ask
what
about
things
you.
do we like to talk about? I have stickers, by the way.
Who wants a sticker?
Who wants stickers?
You know what? I'll just stand and hand them out as we leave. So, because we're going to need to wrap it up here. Did someone have a question? It can be about anything. Okay, and then we'll wrap.
Okay, so my daughter with Williams syndrome is almost 13.
Hi.
And so she's going to go into junior high and high school soon. And so I was wondering if you two had any advice for somebody who's a little bit younger than you with Williams syndrome. Like, what was your high school experience, and what would you say to somebody who's kind of going into that time right now?
For me, I wasn't diagnosed with Williams syndrome until I was almost 13. So, and usually people with Williams syndrome get diagnosed at birth or between 3 to 6 months. So my high school experience was a little bit different. But the bullying was really bad. I lost 25 pounds due to stress. I hate to say this, but I was labeled a class retard. It was really hard. But, that's not everybody's experience, so to say. Everyone has their, experiences. But, yeah.
Yeah, how was it for you, Gigi?
Yeah.
It was hard for me too. I got bullied all the time as well. But what I realized is what you should realize is you need to surround yourself with people that will accept the person that you are, and make friends with people that you could trust, because trust is very important, especially in a school setting. But I mean, I had IEP and I also had in-class support, so make sure, if your daughter needs that kind of thing, definitely go for that.
Yeah, definitely.
I really would stress on that, because a lot of times, for me, they would give me tests and just be like, okay, here's a test, take it, and I would need extra time. So like pop quizzes, for example. And so it was very hard, and my mom had to step in and be like, no, she can't do that. You can't just give her something out of the blue without expecting it, not to know what to study. So really harp on that and make sure that they give her the time that she needs to study and to really understand what she's learning.
You should also look into getting involved in Best Buddies.
Ooh, Best Buddies.
Best Buddies.
Yes.
I've been involved with Best Buddies for over 20 25 years now. Do you guys know what Best Buddies is? Okay, so what Best Buddies is a non-profit organization that specializes in social inclusion. And what they do is they pair a person with a disability with a person without a disability, and they create integrated one-on-one friendships that way. And as I said, I was bullied, severely. And once I found Best Buddies, that's when I felt safe. That's when I felt heard. That's when I felt appreciated. And Best Buddies is an international program. I mean, I have friends that live in Egypt, Canada, all over the world that I've met through Best Buddies and going to the leadership conference out in Indiana. Look into getting involved in Best Buddies.
Yeah, that's that intentionality of putting people together. It may seem artificial at first, but hey, more than likely it's going to pan out, and reality will take care of itself. All right, we need to wrap it up so everyone has a chance to have some dinner. I hope you will come by the exhibitors night. There's also going to be special guests at exhibitors. Some of them may look like stormtroopers. Some of them may look like Darth Vader. There will be a magician walking around. So thank you all so much for coming. And
thank you guys.
And thank you to our amazing hosts. Thank you to Gigi. Thank you to Chris.
Yeah.
Thank you to Emmy.
Thank you, Chris.
And if you come by the exhibitor booth.
Thank you, Gianna.
Thank you for listening to the podcast.
And if you come by the exhibitor booth, I will be the Williams Syndrome Association exhibitor booth. I'm working a shift there later on tonight, so I'll be there for an hour.
All right. Thanks, everybody. I have stickers. I'll come by with stickers.
Thank you for letting me.
Let me give the microphone.
This has been the Starry-Eyed Podcast, presented by the Williams Syndrome Association. The show is hosted by Jennifer Keaton and Brendan Lemieux, and produced by me, Joel Listman. Theme song by Tommy Barbarella and Mariella Elm. Got a question for the show? Email us at podcast@williams-syndrome.org or message us at the Starry-Eyed Podcast page on Facebook. Video version of the podcast available on the Williams Syndrome Association channel on YouTube or on Facebook. Rate and review us on Apple Podcasts or comment on the video version, and maybe it will be featured on a future episode. Make sure to like and subscribe to the Starry-Eyed Podcast wherever you get your podcast delights.